Week 7. A quick guide to the 5th century Agora. Let's make a sketch of the Agora, which was as much the commercial and administrative centre of Athens as the Acropolis was the city's spiritual heart. We'll start by looking at the basin between mountain ranges in which Athens lies. Here we're looking more or less southeast towards Marathon Bay. So let's stick the Hymettus mountain range into the background and then add the Acropolis with the Parthenon on top. We can also see here on the Acropolis one end of the Pan-Athenian Way, which runs from here, then down across the Agora and finally to the Diplon Gate in the city walls. It was used for ceremonial processions. The Acropolis is not part of the Agora, but it does give us a frame of reference, so while we're at it, let's add Mount Lycabettus, which, according to legend, is building material which Athena dropped while she was constructing the Acropolis. Now let's go to the Agora and move over to the east side and add the Temple of Hephaestus, which sits on a rise looking over the rest of the Agora. The building next to it is a later addition and was probably used as an armory. The east side of the Agora is mainly given over to civil administration. So now let's add the council building here and the round meeting house of the Athenian Boule. This building was called the Sun Hat because of its distinctive shape. There were always some councilmen here on standby to respond to any immediate threats to the city. Next to this building is what is sometimes called the House of the Generals, and the building next to that was probably the city prison, where Socrates met his end. This building may seem small, but Athens did not impose jail sentences on wrongdoers. We'll add the road which was in front of these buildings, with the altar to Zeus, that's on the left, and the larger statues of the eponymous heroes, a monument to the heroes after whom each of the tribes of Athens was named. And now while we're at it, we'll drop in the rest of the Pan-Athenian Way, which bisects the Agora, and the altar, which is also a sanctuary, of the 12 gods, which you see facing the Temple of Hephaestus on the south side of the road. Now we'll add the painted stoa next to it. A stoa, and the one you see in this picture is the later stoa of Attalus, was used for commercial activity and general socializing when the weather made the open air in the Agora unpleasant. The painted stoa had pictures of Athenian heroics against the Persians painted on the walls. This is also a good moment to add another stoa, the stoa of Zeus, which stood between the painted stoa and the council house. Now let's cross to the south side of the Agora, and the large stoa here, which was the main commercial centre. We'll add the fountain house to the west, where the Athenian women drew their household water, and the mint to the east, which is the top of the picture, where the official standard weights and measures of Athens were kept. In later years, many other features were added to the Agora, including the Tower of the Winds, which is still a favourite with tourists today, and a library, Odeon, and market were contributed by the Romans. However, in the 5th century, the Agora was basically an open space, where stalls could be erected on market days, where the cavalry could exercise, and where Athenians gathered and socialized before proceeding to assembly meetings on the nearby hill. What we know from archaeology, but the Athenians of the 5th century did not know, is that the first peoples to settle Athens lived on the Acropolis and used the Agora as a graveyard. For the superstitious Athenians of the 5th century, it was very bad luck to tread on a grave, yet every day they walked unknowing over the bones of their ancestors.